You know, today in 2019, we're going to talk about, are we still talking about standards when dating? Hmm. 2020 is around the corner. Should we continue those standards when dating? And how is it working out for you?
Are your standards too high or are they too low? Just because you're in a position where you're ready to have that mate.
Let's talk about it. Tune into our next conversation about dating with standards. Hmm.
See you soon. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Blue Chair Combos.
I'm your host, Sophia.
And I'm your co host, Kelly.
And we're going to talk about how you can come and like us, subscribe to our channel.
Go to YouTube, ring that bell, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please feel free to leave any comments. We want to hear your feedback. Also, go to our Facebook page, Blue Chair Combos, and like that page as well. We ask you to please comment, please ask questions. We would love to hear from you.
Also, follow us on Instagram, blue_chair combos. We also like you to follow us there and get some more insight. We look forward to seeing you there. So, Kelly, today's topic, oh my God, it's very good. I think we've had so many great conversations thus far. And I think right now, a lot of people need to open up some doors a new way. So, our topic today is
dating standards.
Wow. Dating standards. Yeah, well, for me, I'm still in the dating game. Kelly, not so much. She's already acknowledged that she's about to get married soon. So, I'm pretty sure she has some standards then getting up to this point. So, with me right now, dating standards for all overall, should there be standards? I think that's a question.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good question. Should there be standards? And if so, what does your standards look like once you have them?
I absolutely believe that people, whether it's man or woman, should have standards when dating, because that's how you know if somebody, like we talked about previously, matches your emotional intelligence and all that stuff, and if they are where you are in life and wanting to head where you want to head. So I definitely think that people should have standards. Now, what I found is sitting around talking to my girlfriends and different people is sometimes people's standards are too high. And I know some people can look at that and say, well, what does that mean? Well, sometimes you're not bringing to the table what you're expecting other people to bring.
Wow.
You're sitting here wanting Bold and the Beautiful love, I mean, you're laughing, but I'm serious. You want this man with a 6-figure bank account, nice abs, good looking, no children, all that. Never been married before, and here you are with a divorce under your belt, 3 kids in tow. You ain't making 6 figures, ain't in the place to get ready to make 6 figures, just talking about going back to school. Not saying that it can't happen, but you got to know where you are in life and what you're bringing.
Right, exactly. Whoo, girl. Stepped on somebody's toes. They done curled up under the chair, the sofa couch, under the curtains and everywhere else. I don't know if they ready for this one. But it's real.
They need to get ready.
It's real.
This is what the people talking about now.
I date with a purpose, and it's now I don't have a standard. Actually, I go out and when I went out with my nephews, oh my God, they thought I was a flirt. And I guess it's in the image of who you're looking at. Perceiving you. Because I'll be just talking to a guy and they was like, that's flirting. I was like, that's flirting? Yeah, to a guy it is. Well, anyway, so when I'm out here dating, now there's types of dating. I don't know if we should even engage that conversation on the show.
That might be another topic.
Yeah, because there's online dating, and they have a criteria online where you can point out. But what is your criteria if you wasn't online? That's where we're gonna keep it. So what is so we can distinguish which one we're talking about. We'll talk about online dating later. So what is your criteria when you write down? Everybody got all this whole list. I'm pretty sure. I try not to write a list. People have told me to write a list. I don't have a list. I feel that if my chemistry connects with this person and we vibing on each other and we can get to the next stage and we match and you want to date, that's where I want to see. Now, looks is a factor. I know that's probably the first part of somebody's list. But I don't feel like dating looks should matter. I mean, looks matter. Let's see. How should I? Attraction. Let's see. Attraction matters. I like that. Okay, attraction matters. So, because there's some, everybody doesn't have the same attraction. There's some people looking at short men, tall men, or muscular men, not too big men, average men, whatever the criteria you have for your list. So when I'm out here dating, I don't really have a criteria. Now, sometimes when I talk to somebody, I'm like, ooh, not attracting him, and that's the first thing. Could I have a conversation? Yes, because that's where we stop. We need to continue those conversations. I feel like gender still, women see a man, they still stop, pump brakes or whatever, and they don't go all the way through with having a conversation with somebody. But you're not looking at this person to date anyway. But when you're looking at someone to date, the first thing is a law of attraction, pretty much, I would say. Law of attraction, and then you proceed further, and let's see what's his conversation. Now, you might find an attractive man, they might not have that conversation you're looking for, and that conversation is already depleted. Like, he ain't got no
good, ain't good for
exactly. And that conversation, you were like, oh, he look good, but his intelligence level is just whoo. And I'm pretty sure dating, we've seen that. I have.
And I think, to piggyback off of that, this is where I am with it. I think we all have a standard, and I think as younger women and men, we had it all outlined what we thought we wanted, what looked good on paper. You know what I mean? As far as the looks is concerned, he's got to have pretty teeth, clean shoes, nice outfit, this and that, and all that stuff. And I think as we get older and get more experiences, those things change. Definitely. But I think for people that are not keeping it real with themselves and not emotionally intelligent and don't know who they are, I think some of those superficial things still matter. Yeah. So I think their standards include things that are superficial when we need to look beyond that and understand, is that realistic what we're looking for? Definitely. I use me personally as an example. When I was younger, looks very much mattered to me. Exactly. I do think that we are all visual creatures, men and women, and I think we all do, like you said, look at people, are they pleasing and attractive to me? And it's different for everybody. But I think looks so much like, oh, I like only light-skinned men, or I like only dark-skinned men. I think that type of stuff goes away once you look past the superficial and look at what the standard really is. Because to me, light-skinned or dark-skinned, I have a preference. Right. I prefer dark-skinned men. But if a light-skinned man came in the package of what I was looking for, that's what I would go for. But I think for me, what I thought I needed on paper and what other people look to me as needing on paper is not what I have. Just a little transparency for myself. The person that I'm engaged to be married to does not have my education level that I have. They don't have the ability at this point right now to have my education level. Maybe in the future he may, but at this point he does not. He does not make as much money as I do. He has more children than I do. He has been married twice. He actually has a felony record. He's currently incarcerated at this moment. And so people, when looking at me, when I have no criminal record, I am a master's level clinician, I have several state licenses, I have my own business, I also get that corporate coin, so I got a little money on that too, securing that bag. I have one child by this man. I do have one marriage under my belt. I'm not a person where you can say, oh, she's dated this person, she's dated that person. I keep to myself. I go to church. I do all these things. So on paper, we look completely different. So on the outside looking in, people look at me and be like, what's she seeing him? Like, on paper, that don't make sense.
But there's something you see in him and it ain't none of their business, actually.
And well, in actuality, I want to make it people's business because this is what they need to hear.
Right.
If I had held those same high superficial standards, this would be a person that I wouldn't even look twice at. Let me point this out. He's shorter than I am.
Wow.
And he's a dark-skinned man. That would have never been my type in the past. But I love him. I love my dark-skinned short man. And so if I had kept those same superficial standards, I would not have looked twice at him. But what I did was I looked beyond that and looked at his character. He has a good foundation. Has he made mistakes in life? Absolutely. I made them as well. But he has a good foundation. The core of him is a good man. He protects my heart. He protects me safety-wise. He looks after me. He loves me unconditionally. He makes me feel good about myself. And I'm able to be who I want to be with him. Nothing fake about it. I don't have to put on makeup all the time and make sure my hair is always done and all those types of things, because he looks beyond that and sees the core of who I am. And so I do the same for him. So because our foundation is good, I can build a house on that. So my standards have changed. So what people might be on the outside looking in and thinking that I'm dating below my standards, because people have said that to me. People have said it behind my back, and it's gotten back to me that I'm dating below my standards, but they don't know what I know. And like you said, it ain't really their business, but they don't know what I know about him and know how he treats me and how good he is to me, how good he is to me and for me. So people may look at I'm dating below my standards, but this is what God had for me and what I needed.
Right. And that's what people need to realize.
Yep.
Like standards, like what is standards? Like we keep going back. Standards is what you feel that is for you, but some things are not for you.
Absolutely.
So basically, like I hear in this dating pool game, it's tough, ladies. That's men that's single out here. But where are you putting your standards? I hear a lot of women talk about the 6 figures.
Yeah.
I hear single moms with 3 kids, but don't want a man with kids.
Right.
All the time. Like what? How you gonna say that? Like they can't help that you decided to go. And now
if you had 3 children you bring to the table, and he had 3 that he bringing that he ain't taking care of, that's different. Because the standard is, it ain't that he got children and I don't want to be with him. It's that he got children he ain't taking care of.
Exactly.
So if he can't take care of them, he can't take care of mine.
Right. Exactly.
That's different.
Exactly.
But you can't sit here and say I'm bringing 3 kids to the table, but my man can have no children.
That
don't make no sense.
Where's the balance?
And especially as we get older, people are going to have experiences. People are going to get married. They're going to have children. They're going to do different things. You can't just cut a man off and kick him to the wayside or put him in the friend zone just because he ain't matching what you thought you needed on paper.
Right. Now, I've been dating. So when the guy I was dating for the 4 years, I didn't have an education at the time. I don't think I recall him not having one. But, when he had a great job, I was working as a CNA at the time. But people see CNAs like they make money out of it. We make money because we work overtime. Get that right. That's how that money come in. But I'm not going to belittle the CNAs or anything like that. Right. It's just like I was doing that, but I saw sometimes it's the environment that changes your mindset, and then who you're connected to in the place of like where you need to grow, and that's where my change came in and where I got my degree. So, but at the time, education still doesn't matter to me as long as he knows how to take care of the household.
Absolutely.
If he can manage his money and he knows how to take care of what he needs to take care of, that doesn't bother me at all if he doesn't have an education. He doesn't have to have a master's degree or doctorate degree. You know what I look like on your shoulder makes me and you. That's how I look at it.
My granny told me half a loaf of bread is better than none.
Exactly.
So whatever half he bring it to the table, we gonna make that work.
Exactly.
And that's what we do in my house.
Exactly. So all these ladies sitting at this table talking about I want this and I want this and I want this, but stop saying what you want. Actually, what do you need? What is what you need in your life?
Absolutely.
Because that matters more than what you want.
And what are you bringing to the table too?
Exactly. If you tell him he needs a 6 figure, baby, you better be umpiring it up.
Exactly.
You better figure out what 6 figures look like in your bank account.
And also if
managing money means a lot too.
Absolutely. And if he's making those 6 figures, how can you be the woman behind him that keeps encouraging him to stay within that standard? Yes. And you ain't beating him down and bringing him down.
I heard that me and this guy just had this recent conversation about we was talking about he doesn't really want his woman to work. I was like, 2 household brings in more than 1 household. How can you build an empire on 1 income than 2? I can't see it, but I mean, for you to be, some women lose themselves in the relationship too. Absolutely. When they're dating. So I feel like the empire doesn't work unless both of them are working together. That's where the balance is, because I think it depletes what you look like, who you are. And when women out here just not working or finding a hobby or finding certain things in life to make them sit still. It doesn't work. Like for me, I can't see it. But me, I'm always a worker. I'm a worker, and that's who I am. I work. I find all extracurricular activities to do because I get bored. I will find anything to do. But anyway, with dating for me, like I feel like I can bring more with my significant other, and we bring it together and we talk about it on the same level. I feel like when one is off, the other one are not together on the same place. That's how I feel. Yeah. I just think one is off. If you're saying all your expectations here, but you're not bringing half of what he has, or she's bringing half more than what you have, I don't know where the balance is in a relationship.
Right, and there definitely has to be balance. There definitely has to be, and one person's not going to always be up. But like I said, it goes beyond the superficial. If you got that man that brought all that to the table that you talking about, your 6 figures, your abs, your blah, 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 are you the woman that can support that? To keep encouraging him to keep that job and making sure that, you know, the house is in order so he can focus on his job of making 6 figures and not worried about what's going on at home. Are you
and not complaining that why you, all I do is sit home. He don't see me worthy. Look, he don't need a nagger or a whiner at home if you're gonna want to be at home while he making the 6 figs. Yeah. Come on now, like we don't want. Ain't no man gonna want that. Like,
so I think the take home for me of this whole thing is what you see on paper is not necessarily what you it's not always good. It could just be on paper. That might not be really who the core of who they are, but also too, it might not be what you need in your life. You know, my prayer, and I'm a big believer in prayer. My prayer was, Lord, give me what I need. I didn't ask for no specific man. I didn't go and say, Lord, give me this man that's got this man that looks like this, because that might not be what the Lord had for me. I prayed that, Lord, get me out of my way. Remove me from me. Let me get out of my own way so I can meet my destiny, whatever that is. Whatever man you got for me. And this is what God wanted for me. So on the outside looking in, it might not look like what people think it needs to look like, but I know that this is a God thing.
Exactly.
And so I know that anything that God is in the midst of is going to be successful. So the takeaway from me is that just because it's good on paper doesn't mean that it's good for you. And just find out, you know, if your standards, what are they? Are they too high? Are you bringing what you think you should be bringing to the relationship? Are you bringing what you're expecting the other person to bring?
Exactly. For me, I got a prayer, but it ain't been answered yet. But my prayer is more, God, heal me basically from my past relationships so I can be better for my husband. Show me how to have those conversations, love him unconditionally, live through God's word, and, you know, let him love me for Sophia. Like, you know, that's my prayer. I actually have it written out. It's actually on, maybe on the, it is on my website. But, you know, as for women and men, you know, you're out here dating, you have these standards, but the standard now is more than it isn't necessary to really have. That's what I feel. Like, you look for the things you need in someone, not the things that you want. Because maybe the things you need will be fine in the things you want, but that's also having those conversations, keeping it real with yourself, and knowing who you are. That goes with that. And, you know, that's how I see dating right now in 2019. Going into 2020, should we still continue these dating standards? I just think we try someone, have that conversation, and see what happens. And stop overlooking the things that you think, girl, he ugly, or God, no, she ain't my type. That might be the one that may be for you. You know, the type ain't always, you know, for you. Sometimes not for you, but good for you. Yeah. Now, how about that?
Thank you guys for tuning in on today. Don't forget to go to our YouTube channel, ring that bell, subscribe to our page. We would love to hear your comments, your feedback, any topic suggestions that you have, anything. We'd love to get a dialogue started. Also go to Facebook and like our page, Blue Chair Combos. Here again, comment, talk to us. Let us know what you think. We would love to hear from you.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Blue, BLU_chair combos. And we hope to see you all soon on the next conversation.
But wait a minute, what do we want them to do?
Let the blue make you true. Yes.
See you later.
Bye.